to be alive.
Well, for people who want to find the hot sauces, how can they get them? Obviously, see you live, but if they want to try to buy them online, how can they do so?
Yeah, so go through my social medias.
Okay.
I forget some of the handles of my name, but so on Facebook, Eddie Dorozowski, and you got Instagram, only one naked Eddie, and then Twitter. I think it's Sexxy Eddy 69 official, something like that. If you like wrestling and you're friends with other wrestlers, they can point you to the right direction. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I've been around in wrestling for so long that everybody fucking knows me. So yeah.
Well, you mentioned that, you hope that this hot sauce really helps, some of the younger wrestlers so that they can see that, there is things outside of wrestling and that they can, don't have to take all the crazy bumps if they don't want to. Who are some of the kind of veterans that, I mean, even to this day will, maybe pull you to the side or even has given you some really good advice over the years?
For good advice, it was tough because I think some things that I was told when I was younger, I maybe at that moment didn't know if it was good advice or not. Like there was constructive criticism, but then, and I want to say wrestling has evolved. It's changed. So back in the day, there was maybe a little more bullying. There was more, no, do it this way. And it's like now I feel that there's several ways to do things, and people are more supportive. They realize that, hey, if I make him look better, he's going to make me look better instead of, hey, this guy is taking my spot. So I feel that wrestling has changed. So maybe as a younger wrestler, I was kind of protective of myself, and I didn't let all that information in. My coach, Mark the Grizzly, again, he wasn't someone that went to any of the big leagues, but everything that he knew what he was talking about. And again, I have to talk to him because to this day I'm not sure where he got some of this information, but it's held on. It's like it's carried through all these years, and it's little things that go all the way back to the etiquette of wiping your feet before you get in the ring. That's
Mm.
something that I've been to other wrestling schools and they skip out on that. They skip out on some of the etiquette of shaking everyone's hands and things like that. Uh, you know what? Anytime you talk to Lightning Mike Quackenbush,
Hmm.
you will get information that's crucial. Like he wrote books on wrestling, so you know what? Right away, you know he's a wealth of knowledge. So he's someone that after years and years and years, I finally took a master class weekend to learn from. And I told him, I went up to him and I said, he knew me already because I already worked at Chikara, so it felt weird. But I said, you know what? You're never too old to learn. And I felt embarrassed to sign up where other young people would be like, what is he doing here? But you could always brush up on anything. And that's when you see how important the basics are for whatever you're going to learn in whatever discipline. If you skip over the basics and you're trying to do the intermediate and the advanced things, you're skipping. If there's something you're not doing properly, then in those advanced stages, you're going to be doing them wrong also, or just a variation of like, hey, you're lacking something. So he's Mike Quackenbush is awesome. And I want to say my coach, Mark the Grizzly, they were great. But there was a lot of people that tried to hold you down, and they just kind of tell you you should quit right now. You know, you shouldn't keep going. Little do they know sometimes that pushes, that lights the fire in people's asses. And when you look at all the people that and I can tell you this, and I think anyone who's in wrestling can tell you, they remember one of the people, let's say, that tried to push them down. That person that pushed them down doesn't remember who they are because they were a nobody at the time. And
Mm.
so they pushed a nobody down, a kid that they didn't know was going to continue and surpass their levels. But we all remember the first person that kind of kept us down. So it's almost like, you know what? there's nothing you need to say. There's no revenge or anything, because it's like if you've surpassed what they've done, then that's already enough. And it's like, you won. That's all it is. You won. You don't need to rub
Mhm.
it in anyone's face. But yeah, keep going with whatever you want to do. And I like now, especially more so, that wrestling. It's almost like the saying on the Statue of Liberty, where in certain sports you have to be certain size, you have to be a certain height. In wrestling, we take your weak, we take your injured, we take your, any type of shape you are in wrestling, you could have a career. And I give the examples of Bastion Booger,
Mhm.
give an example of Zach Gowen, give an example of Colin Delaney, whatever size or shape or skill level or whatever your background is, it's going to help you into wrestling. And a lot of pro athletes, you'd see them in, especially in WCW, former football player injured, former basketball player injured, and they go to wrestling. And it doesn't necessarily last long, their career, but they can have, they still make some money in wrestling, and there's still a draw. Uh, but it's cool to say that whether you have done gymnastics, ballet, karate, uh, you can use all of those things, and excel at wrestling.
I love that. And so as we're kind of wrapping down, because time constraints on the Zoom, what do you kind of see? I mean, as you've been in the industry as long as you have, and floating over from Canada and America, where are you kind of seeing, as you said, there are so many, and even Swerve Strickland has said that there are so many people now that aren't holding each other down. They're all here to bring each other up. Where do you kind of see the future of wrestling going? Because as you said, there was so much bullying then, and then now it's so many people backstage trying to help everybody because the better the product is, the better everything else is going to be.
Yeah, we all win the better it goes.
Hmm.
The direction of wrestling, I think especially certain characters will stand out, because there's always, right now, especially with social media, it's all about clips. It's not about matches, it's about highlights. So I feel that a lot of people are trying to do highlights. If they have a memorable moment, if they did a move that was incredible, if there's something that they did, or even a promo. Um, I had never seen so many hits or likes on, when I seen The Rock's promo on
Mm.
Cody Rhodes, where after the cameras he was like, there's no cut, there's no cut, and he kept going.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was like, I watched it and I watched it again, and I was like, wow, I hadn't seen, um, like, I'll randomly see clips of wrestling. I want to say, once you become a wrestler, you tend to watch less the product. The
Mm.
more you wrestle, it's almost like if you're a mover and you're watching other people move or something, or some people, that's the thing. I became less of a fan and more of a wrestler, and I also didn't want to taint what I was doing by having little influences where I wouldn't realize, and oh, I'm doing similar to what they're doing. So when someone comes out with a highlight or an awesome promo, that's the right now, it's all about clips. It's all about memorable moments. What I try to do to make myself more relevant too is, if I can have a memorable moment in my match, because I tell a lot of people, who cares who wins or loses? Again, the winner is always the one that makes more money. That's the first thing. But if the fans come to you and say, "Hey, Sexxy Eddy, I loved it when you grabbed the guy like this, and then you threw him like that, and then you said that," that's what they'll remember.
Thank you so much to Sexy Eddie for being on the show. Again, such a motivational and positive guy right now, and I love it. We need more of that in the world. So thank you again, Sexy Eddie, for being on the show. Definitely make sure to follow him on his social medias, find out where he is wrestling next, and definitely check him out. Now, while you're doing that, make sure to follow us and tag us on the social medias when you do that. It is going to be Brewsers Pod, that is BREWSCRSPOD, on the Instagram, the Threads, and the Twitter. Send us an email if you would like. It is brewserspod@gmail.com. And if you would like to follow me personally, it is Rody John. That is Rodiejon. Rody John is the name on the Twitter and on Untapped. In case you want to find out what I'm drinking, maybe we can have a beer together. If you want to follow me on the Threads or the Instagram, it is official Rody John. Send me an email if you would like at rodyjohn@gmail.com. So until next time, make sure to enjoy life, drink local, and cheers.